Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to another episode of Hades 1. This is our mirror setup for the day. We are going to be taking Stubborn Defiance in the hunt for our last couple of achievements left in the game. We need to get a touch of sticks from the Well of Charon, and to do so we need to give up Death Defiances for Stubborn Defiance. Now if you don't remember what that does, basically Stubborn Defiance is a Death Defiance that refunds every room, but you only have one. So it's a little bit spicier. It's really the only reason you want to take it is if you have a lot of lasting consequences. The act of punishment that prevents you from healing, because the Stubborn Defiance ignores that and heals you to a certain threshold, about 30% of your max HP, I believe, and even more if you get either Patroclus or the touch of sticks from the shop. Anyway, we're going to be taking max level jury summons, 3 levels of extreme measures, max level benefits package middle management, 1 level of heightened security, and 1 level of tight deadline for a total of 18 heat to meet our bounty.
This ought to be interesting.
We're going to take the Persephone keepsake and just let the fates decide how we're going to play. Let's see, what are we starting with? Okay, a hammer. And we've got massive spin, vicious skewer, or serrated point. Dash strike hits 3 times, but your dash has minus 25% range. That honestly sounds terrible, but we proved that we don't really need the dash when we are running the Achilles spear. And maybe that'll make our dash strike do a lot of damage. I think it's, if we can get this plus flurry jab, we would have so much damage. Granted, we would have so much less survivability. I'll have to depend on the special kind of keeping us alive in that regard. But I mean, look at that. That's 50 damage in rapid succession. We got some damage modifiers on that, and it's going to be hitting like a truck. So I'm curious to see where this run goes. I honestly generally don't like serrated point for the reason it just, that dash range reduction is, you can see it's pretty substantial. I think it only says it's 25% reduction, but it feels like it's so much more. And when you're used to dodging things with the dash at that normal range, it just becomes that much harder to manage. But again, if we're enhancing every attack we do with a nice bit of with the effect of the Achilles spear plus that triple hit from the special from the dash strike, now I suspect we could go for a very strong, I guess since we're going Aphrodite, Heartrend belt here. So I'm curious to see where this run goes. I feel like we have a lot of potential.
Take heart now, little godling. And how about you take this from me as well?
All right, attacker special. We'll take whichever one she offers. All right, decently high tier, rare tier attack seems decent. I'm just trying to weigh my options, because if I get Artemis's attack, we can crit rather than have the higher base damage. But I think we can probably do some shenanigans with Hunter's Mark later on in the run. We'll definitely go for Heartrend on this build, given how we're starting out, I think. So we'll take the Artemis keepsake later. All right, I'll just take the attack and I'll save my rerolls for later. Dionysus showing up here isn't terrible either, because we can potentially start stacking up crit with his duo with Artemis when we eventually go for her boons.
Useless.
Yeah, look, our GPS there? I think, so what we want for this build is probably just a matter of, we already have serrated points. So let's see if we can get Flurry Jab. I mean, I mentioned in the last Achilles run, the run where I was basically not going to benefit from it.
Dionysus.
Now listen up here, Zach, because this time I have got something for you that's going to put some extra fire in your step. You ready, man?
I never get to see Flurry Jab when I actually want to run it. You know, Dionysus was building us up to think he was going to give us something nice. He didn't give us anything terribly great. I want Artemis's dash. Do I need Artemis's special, actually? I guess that's a fair point. If I'm going for Heartrend, do I in fact need Artemis's... No, I remember this was a mistake I made the last time I tried to go for Heartrend. You can't get Heartrend with Artemis's dash because it doesn't give you any crit chance. So I need to make sure I take at least one other Artemis boon, either her call or her special, or her cast. I think what I will take though is Dionysus's Age is always good damage. I want a reliable means of getting poisoned, so I think, you know what, I'm going to take his special. Yeah, that's going to make us not really want to use the special for DPS, just for status privilege, if nothing else. But I can manage that. And then here, I'll take the coin. I think, even though we are running Stubborn Defiance, I don't think I'm at risk of death yet. We have a lot of damage, so I should be getting through Tartarus fairly easily, as long as I position well and respect armored enemies a little bit. But with the duo between Dionysus and Artemis, we can probably get some decent crit chance at base, plus pressure points, plus Hunter Mark, and we can stack up that damage fairly quickly. So I'm curious to see how this build plays out, is basically what I'm saying in a very roundabout manner, but so far, feels fairly decent. And as long as I'm tossing out a special here or there, we're good.
Nice.
All right, let's see what's next. Poseidon. Poseidon doesn't really fit the build path that I want, but as long as we don't get locked into a fourth god until Asphodel and I can choose Artemis, I'm fine with this. Yeah, this feels fairly decent in terms of DPS. Plus, if we can get more dash strikes from Hermes, then, or, well, more dashes specifically, that equates to more dash strikes, I suppose. Our damage potential is pretty up there, I imagine.
Lord Poseidon.
That felt pretty clean.
Ahoy, nephew. It's excellent to see you once again and in good spirits still. Then come, let's make some waves.
All right, Poseidon, what are you going to force on us? Your attack? Not interested. Your cast? Maybe interested. I think, honestly, Sunken Treasure is probably the way to go. Or, honestly, Hydraulic Might would be fun. This is a higher tier Poseidon, so I have to keep that in mind. I guess, what duos do you offer? We got Mirage Shot. We've got better palms and higher tier palms. Or higher tier boons, rather. So none of your duos really excite me for this build at this point, frankly. Although I guess if we got higher tier boons with Hermes, that would be cool. The odds of us actually seeing that and getting it, though, are low. Because by the time we get the duo, it's going to be irrelevant. Let me think carefully. If I take Flood Shot, then when I go for Artemis, I have to take either her... I have to take her aid. But Flood Shot isn't terrible. Kind of would favor Trippy Shot, honestly. I'm going to take Sunken Treasure here, I think.
Poseidon's strength.
I'm not going to use my rerolls just yet. Again, I want to save those for the boons that I'm actually aiming for. We've got plenty in the way. We've got plenty in the way of coin now, which is good. The question is, how will this build fare once we get to Elysium? Because enemies right now, yeah, they're getting one shot, but Elysium enemies are very tanky, especially once they start getting armor. That armor gives them a lot of extra survivability. For now, I'll just focus on seeing if I can get Heartrend and hope for the best out of that. Just need to remember that I am trying to save for Artemis's dash if I can, because I think that'll give us the most damage on top of having, what's it called? On top of having Heartrend and any crit chance.
Thank the fates.
Wow, our attack is already up to 111% extra damage. Coin in the Erebus Gate versus a Palm. Oh, and a Chaos Gate. Okay. Honestly, that Chaos Gate seems very appealing because there are two different ways we can hit our damage right now. Dash attack or attack damage at base. Attack damage is probably better, but we're mostly going to be focusing on the dash strike, so I won't complain if we get that. It's just the attack also affects the dash attack, whereas the dash attack only affects the dash attack if we get those boons from Chaos. One fish for Jeff. Oh. Man, I've been failing those a lot lately. That's embarrassing.
I find myself anticipating your arrival, son of Hades.
Chaos is very amused by us, it seems. Alright, cast, coin, and meta progression. We will re-roll for something better.
What about these?
HP attack. There we go, okay. I cannot attack, or so I can't use my special for 3 encounters. Afterwards, I get 33% more attack damage. We like that. And then darkness versus gems. I got plenty of coins, so let's take the darkness. The darkness will let us... We're almost at the point of maxing out the mirror, which is really exciting. Oh, well, you know, the thing about being used to how you play the Achilles Spear is my brain just defaults to how you play the Achilles Spear, which is throw your special, then attack. Throw your special, then attack. So I'll have to be a little bit careful about that. But right now, our dash attacks, they definitely are doing a lot of damage. They don't one-shot anymore, at least the Wranglers, or whatever these are called. Ringers? Ringers. They're called Ringers. The Ringers don't get one-shot anymore. Hey, look who it is. We are getting forced into a 4th god, but at least it's Artemis who we wanted. Alright, I'll take that. I'll very gladly take that. Unfortunately, since this is kind of just a general encounter room, we probably won't have the highest rarity boons that she could offer. But there are plenty of things she can still offer, even if they aren't the highest rarity. Again, maybe I hold out for a higher tier dash attack from her and take her aid so that we can get her Heartrend duo set up with Aphrodite. If she offers us an attack trade, I will take it, though. The worst part about me accidentally using my special there is I didn't even retrieve it, so I didn't get the enhanced damage. Feels bad. There we go, okay. Room wiped up nice and clean.
What are you hunting this time, I wonder?
I wonder too. Alright, special. So she is offering us a trade for the special. Alternatively, pressure points or hunter dash. I would love to see these at a higher tier. But pressure points, every tier is only an extra 1% crit chance, so palms are more valuable on it than rarity necessarily. 50% more dash strike damage is nice. Do I waste a reroll here, or do I just... I think I probably just take pressure points for now, because we're going to want that anyway. And that locks in our 4th god, so we're pretty well set now. What does this offer? Coin? Sure, we'll take it.
That is private property.
We still need to get through one more encounter before our Chaos Boon pops, unfortunately. So I do need to be mindful about not using my special. Thankfully, these witches should pop very quickly with little in the way of interference by large HP pools. Honestly, the Loud is going to be the one thing that survives well, but we're wiping them out fairly quick enough. Unfortunately, the one thing about witches and infernal troves is they really like to like spread out, so it's hard to kill things quickly because everyone's spread out. Oh well, still 68 coin. We took like 10 damage, 15 damage maybe, but that's not the end of the world. Now this next palm, do I toss it on the attack or do I toss it on the pressure points for the extra crit chance? Probably stick with stacking on the attack where possible, and then my secondary choice would be the pressure points after that. Because as nice as that crit chance is, right now we mostly just need damage for that crit to scale with. Granted, a crit is a 3 times damage modifier. It's nothing to sniff at.
Gods grant me strength.
Another 7% damage on the attack, plus our Chaos Boon just popped, so that's 33% more damage on the attack as well. I think 1% crit chance probably doesn't matter as much as the 7% base damage modifier, so I'll take that. And then I presume this to be our mid shop. It could be our end shop. It is our end shop. Wow, we've been making good time. All right, I'll take another palm.
Spend it all in one place.
Now we're down to 5% more damage per palm on the attack. Do I keep stacking there, or do I... Maybe I'm going to start stacking a little bit more crit chance, I think. Wow, low tolerance already. Your hangover effects stack more times against weakened foes. Or I take Trippy Shot. I think I'll take this duo boon so it doesn't show up later, because we want Dionysus to offer his duo with Artemis more than we want his duo with Aphrodite.
Keep you waiting, ladies.
You're stuck with me forever, Trash. Remember that.
I mean, because we're not going to really be stacking hangover very quickly at all, considering the fact that our means of applying hangover is locked to our special at present. As long as I stay mobile, she can't really do much to me, except I can definitely do much to me if I go dashing onto her traps. That was unfortunate. That was entirely avoidable. I'm going to drop a Sisyphus here. Oh wait, she's going to dash. No, she isn't. Never mind. There we go. Easy peasy. We're making pretty good time. Serrated point, if you're willing to go glass cannon, works pretty well.
That's that then.
Now in hindsight, maybe a lack of Death Defiances is the wrong time to go glass cannon. Stubborn Defiance isn't bad, but it is riskier, I would say. At least for me, who's prone to turning his brain off. Since we got Artemis, maybe I just stick with the Palm Blossom, honestly. I don't need to pause in here. The timer's already paused. Let's see. HP, Well of Charon, Fishing Point. I save my coin for the things we want. Nothing here I'm going to sell just yet. So I guess the question is, do I switch my keepsake out, or do I keep Palm Blossoms? Because we don't have many boons that can hit, and all of them are decent. I mean, least valuable is the special, but out of these 3, any extra levels of Heartbreak Strike or Pressure Points is fine by me. So yeah, I think I'll stick with the Palm Blossom for now. We'll inevitably get more boons on this floor, but some of them may not be palmable. Especially Hermes boons can't be palmed. Certain tier 1 and tier 2 boons of the other gods can maybe unpalmable. I don't fully have the list in my head memorized, but I'm starting to get a sense of what those are. Like, I think, for example, Sweet Surrender, the Aphrodite boon that makes you deal more damage to weak afflicted foes, that one can't be palmed, for example. Well, at least, even if I am going to get tagged by these, at least I'm weakening them so the damage is reduced. Fun fact that about a way to use Stubborn Defiance very effectively, especially in higher heat runs, is Asphodel and Elysium both have traps in the form of either lava in the case of Asphodel, or the eggs that you can detonate after a encounter is cleared, and they basically can act as healing sources for you. We'll take this Hermes boon and hope for a nice high tier dash boon. If we could get that, that would be awesome. Where was I? So, completely lost. Oh, right. So Stubborn Defiance again gets refunded per room, which means if you pop one right before you leave a room, it can act as a heal if you are below your 30% HP. It's kind of like having low tolerance, I think it is, or whatever the Dionysus boon that heals you to a certain amount after each encounter if you're below a threshold. It's basically the effect of that boon, but you can activate it whenever.
Another go up to the surface, boss. I might suggest you be very quick about it, and might give you this.
All right, Hermes, what have you got? Greater haste 40%. Ooh. I think we take that, honestly, because that is very... Although, actually, Hyper Sprint might work better for us because it sets us up for rush delivery, but it's 100% move speed, and since we're mostly attacking through our dash, that would honestly net us more damage than a epic tier or greater haste. But one's consistent. I think I still take Hyper Sprint because since we are dashing nonstop, we'll want that damage. We'll want that damage reduction.
Transgressions are not tolerated.
I'm more than comfortable taking this Infernal Trove because I think I will heal more than I will lose here, as long as I don't just spam my face into skull. What are they? Slam Dancers, which Slam Dancer is a pretty fun name. I like. Some of the enemy names are kind of whatever, like Louts and Wretches are kind of like the bare bones just description of them condescending by the gods kind of names. But then there are
Every time.
Can't do that.
There are some fun names. Oh, we got a Nectar, awesome. Oh,
too.
but I forgot. Infernal Trove Nectars do not give palm levels, unfortunately. It's only room palms and the palm you get, and the nectar. Or sorry, it's only room nectars, and the nectars you get from Dionysus is premium vintage. Speaking of which, hi Dionysus. He really wants to give us a bunch of trades for nothing. I think we honestly re-roll him here. I'll take Trippy Shot if that shows up, because that can set us up for
How about some other
Blackout,
instead?
which is decent damage for us. Of course, he's not going to offer it, so do I take his aid? Again, I need to keep in mind that I need to get a boon from Artemis. At this point, it will have to be her cast if I want to get Heartrend. So Dionysus's aid, though, it's another reliable way of getting poison, and it'll stack more easily, thanks to the power of the duo boon we got with Aphrodite. So I think I'll take that. And then we're getting forced into a mini boss with Poseidon. Would have loved to see Artemis here, or even Aphrodite, but we'll take what we get. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and kite the Skull Crusher. Oh, well, that works. I was going to try and kite the Skull Crusher over to the Gorgon head. Oh, gosh. I am just so inherently prone to taking damage from these guys. It's kind of impressive and kind of disappointing, honestly. On the bright side, though, plenty of damage dealt there. We actually killed the Skull Crusher with the hangover damage.
Until
Nice.
Next time, gigantic Gorgon head.
All right, so perfect. Hydraulic Might for you get an additional 63% damage for the first 10 seconds of every encounter. That'll help with our build. I'm not expecting to see huge numbers, but it'll make us clear the rooms before the next wave of jury summons gets activated, or at least the next wave of enemies come in because of jury summons. I guess is the better way to describe it. Would love to see more chaos rooms too. Chaos giving us more damage on the attack and dash strike would be lovely. But we're hitting pretty hard, honestly. Our base damage right now is fairly decent, if nothing else. A solid... Let's see, actually. What is our damage if I were to pop an attack and hit someone as they spawn? May not find out because all of these enemies are dying faster than I can hit them. Or faster than I can deal all my damage. Also have to keep in mind about backstab. So, alright, yeah. I think that was like, a 600 damage about? The crits kind of separate out the hit, so it's hard to tell, but it looks like our base damage is at least 110, so we're doing at least 330 damage per hit. Unfortunately, either Poseidon or a Palm here. I mean, if we go for Poseidon, we could potentially see his duo with Dionysus, right? At this point, we are set for that? Is that correct? No, we don't have a core boon from Poseidon, do we? Right? We're missing that? Yeah. So we need a core boon from Poseidon if we want to go that route, which... I need to save both of these boon slots for Artemis, for Heartrend, and for the dash strike damage that she gives. So I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to stiff Poseidon, go for the palm, and go for the damage here. I mean, there are probably other Poseidon boons that I'd like. It doesn't fit the build that I'm going for as well. Here you guys are. Asphodel has some weird, like, every room has like a preset location where enemies can spawn in, but sometimes you just can't really predict where they're going to spawn, and other times it feels like they spawn relative to where you currently are standing in the room, and I don't fully understand that, like the positioning of where they spawn based on that logic just yet. Honestly, though, I really am enjoying Serrated Point. Yeah, it makes me a glass cannon. We've made up for it with weak and sturdy to reduce the damage we take. Another 5% damage on the attack sounds fine. Let's do it. And then the shop here. Hey, Touch of Sticks. Excellent. All right, so Stubborn Defiances restore 10% more HP than usual for 15 encounters. I don't really care about that. I just care about filling that slot on the prophecy list. Do we go for our second Hermes or do we go for a shop? Hermes is very likely to show up in Elysium. The shop could give us the Artemis we're looking for, so I think I go that. We want Heartrend on the table where possible. We also need Hunters. We need like 3 boons from Artemis right now. 2 of her core boons, and then on top of that, her Hunter's Mark would be very valuable.
I'll take this one.
All right, well, there's Hunter's Mark. I think let's start by taking Dash Strike, because even if that can't set us up for the duo with Heartrend, would it set us up for any other duos? Mirage Shot, no. Splitting Headache, it would not set us up for either, actually. So the Dash Strike is just for us to get more damage on the attack. Alternatively, Hunter's Mark to guarantee the crits. I want both of these boons. I think I'll take the Hunter's Dash, because that'll give us more damage in the long run.
I'll take it.
Or in the short term, more likely. All right, we're at 5% crit chance. I don't think I need the HP, so let's go ahead and give Lernie's heads a couple pats. It feels like it's going to be another one of those runs where I have a duo boon in mind and we're not going to see it until
I'll
Styx.
have to catch up some other time, Lernie, as I'm in a bit of a rush.
Which just feels kind of lame, but it is the name of the game. Sometimes RNG just be that way. That said, though, our DPS is definitely up there. I'm really liking this boon. I can understand why it has such a huge trade-off. I think for the casual runner, it's not worth ever really considering, but in the for the slightly more experienced casual player who is willing to go damage over survivability, it works pretty well. All right, Lernie, have yourself a nice little special. Get you stacked up, and we get it's the nice thing about having a build where you have both Dionysus and Aphrodite is you can stack up status privilege extremely easy, which that 40% damage bonus is never not worth getting if you can afford it. There are certainly gods where it's much harder to apply, like Hunter's Mark is not a reliable means of getting status privilege going, because it pops off of enemies immediately. Similarly, I think Jolted and... I mean, unless you're... The thing about Jolted is it's very easy to keep it going, even if you don't have... Even though it pops or it breaks every time you use... Or every time an enemy attacks, Jolted gets cleared.
No more heads.
Most of the time you're running a Zeus build, you're using moves that hit rapidly, and so you're constantly reapplying Jolted even if it gets popped. So I feel like Jolted is decent for status privilege, but Doom from Ares is less reliable unless a similar vein of you're attacking very quickly. Or I guess Impending Doom makes it so it lasts so long that you can reliably get it off. Do we change our keepsake? I guess I should really take the Artemis keepsake at this point and try to force her to show up, since she's kind of been a little stingy, or at least the god RNG hasn't been quite that kind to us. Alright, so while we're in Elysium, the biggest thing we're looking for is a Well of Charon offering us a, whatever the thing that stops flame wheels from spawning is, because that'll fulfill the prophecy. Those are the only two, that's the only thing left we need to buy from a Well of Charon. Let's go for this hammer and see if we get Flurry Jab, we have so much damage. I don't know, like there are some hammers that lock you out of getting other hammers. I do not know if Serrated Point is one of them relative to Flurry Jab, but I mean, given my usual track record, the odds of us actually seeing Flurry Jab are fairly low, but if we do get it, our DPS is going to be enormous. Flurry Jab just makes it so you lose your charge spin ability on the spear, which we're not even using, frankly. We're using our dash attack. In trade, it makes it so you can just hold down the dash attack, or you can just hold down the attack button and constantly launch attacks. And to my understanding, that hammer, despite me never getting to use it on the Achilles Spear, is absolutely busted on the Achilles Spear to the point where you want it every time you can, and it's definitely a speed run sort of take this if you're doing a speed run on the Achilles Spear. There is no reason not to take this, because it also, I think the build is, of course, Merciful End with that sort of arrangement. It's just wicked strong. Oh. Well. I guess we get to live that dream now, Kiwi. I have no range, but our DPS is going to be huge now. I'm going to take the coin. Again, our survivability isn't the most amazing because I have barely any HP, and we are, again, need to keep in mind we are using the Stubborn Defiances. So if I set myself up for failure, I'm going to fail big time. Well, that just means I have to not fail, and that means with Hide and Security on, not getting hit by any of Hades' pots, because we actually get one shot by his pot. I don't even have enough max HP to survive one hit from a pot, which is a little scary when you think about that out loud. It may honestly be worth taking Patroclus just to get that enhanced survivability from his touch of Styx. Let's see, Palm or Shop? We'll go for the Shop here, but Well of Charon. Ensure a Light of Ixion, or a Light of Ixion sounds good, so I will... Ooh, but here's the thing. If I buy anything in this shop, I won't be able to afford a boon plus Palm in the shop. I think it's still worth it. The Light of Ixion could give us a lot. The HP will keep us alive, and I can still afford a boon now if I go for the shop. So let's do that. Let's go that route. We'll risk it. We'll risk it for the brisket. Dionysus has been very generous this run. A trial between Aphrodite and Artemis actually sounds really good for us because there are things I want from both of them. And there's Trippy Shot. Now, unfortunately, I can't take Trippy Shot, and I need to remember that. The reason for that, again, is we need to save our cast for Artemis so we can get her Heartrend duo. So, that begs the question, what do I take instead? What other boons does Dionysus offer that I'd want? Premium Vintage is probably the most appealing. I think it's really just Premium Vintage I would be interested in at this point. Granted, oh, you know what? Strong Drink would also be really good. I guess I'll use one reroll since we have 4 of them here. It's probably not the ideal situation to reroll for, but none of these are really useful to me. Bad Influence is too unreliable to use. There we go, Strong Drink. 3% extra damage for every fountain we consume, and fully healed by the fountains will keep us alive nice and well. Now, I might honestly consider taking that Charon challenge if it weren't for the fact that we got that Artemis Aphrodite trial. Granted, this may be our only chance to see Hermes, but I don't think it's worth it. We'll take this trial and hope that Hermes shows up and sticks in the worst case scenario.
Time to pick sides.
Now, between these two gods, Aphrodite, we're going for Artemis's cast. Aphrodite, I guess we'll go for Artemis first. I'm going to get wrecked by Aphrodite's trial punishment. All right, we'll take the low-tier True Shot. Doesn't matter. We're not going to use it that much. What matters is now we can get Heartrend.
Oh, but this is such a heartbreak, dearest. Why would you do that? You know that I won't take this lying down.
She kind of sounded sarcastic saying all that.
You won't appreciate this.
Alright. I am so prone to taking damage from Aphrodite's trial for some reason, so I just need to be mindful of where that heart spawns in and evade it at all times, and we're fine. Alright. Yeah, our DPS is pretty nice. The lack of dash range is a little disorienting, but manageable. Definitely manageable. And I knew I was going to get hit by that, darn it. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Alright, we almost have enough for Greater Call. I'm going to pop it now, because I think these guys are going to be dead, and the trial will be over in a second. I think this is the last enemy. Yeah, there we go.
Nearly got
Almost got my Death Defiance popped.
All this fighting. It's just not like us at all, dearest. Let's say we kissed and then made up,
I
alright?
have no interest in kissing you, Aphrodite. I am sorry. And as a result, we get empty inside. Your weak effects have a longer duration. That won't really matter because we're going to be applying weak nonstop every time we attack. Different Link keeps us alive. We can't get duo boons. Is there anything else I would want? Honestly, what is it? Sweet Surrender would be worth it because it's a damage up for us. Other than that, there's nothing really that she offers that I terribly want. I suppose Empty Inside does set us up for her Legendary, which would be decent for keeping us alive. So maybe I still take Empty Inside. Yeah, okay, you know what? I've convinced myself. That's good enough for me. There's a Chaos Gate. Oh, and there are no eggs, so I can't refund my HP. This is really unfortunate. So that Light of Ixion was wasted, but there's Artemis to show up and offer us the things we want. We want Hunter's Mark, we want her duo, we want Heartrend. Ugh, Asterius, this is gonna be rough.
Good. Now I can get you back for last time. All I need is one clean hit.
I think I'm going to hold off on using my... Sisyphus unless I lose my Death Defiance. Which, there we go. Not great. We have not done enough damage to really be in a good spot. So I'm gonna go pop Sisyphus now. That should phase him. Probably should have saved that for his later phase, but it's fine. Oh gosh, I wasn't ready for him to come charging like that. I thought he was gonna get clipped on the hill again, or on the statue again. All right, that heals us up nicely. I just need to be very careful because too many hits and I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna lose the run. It's kind of the same deal with Hades. I am running a melee build, trying to get as many Dionysus stacks as possible on him because that will melt his HP. There we go. Because it's like 50 damage a second from that call, I believe. All right.
Got you, Bullman.
Was a little sketchy for a second there, but we managed just fine. Oh wow, we got both of them. All right, well, ooh, oh my goodness, this is a stacked Artemis offering. This is literally the entire pool of boons we want from her at this point, and I have to pick one of them. Objectively speaking, Heartrend is the one we were going for. Hunter's Mark would make us crit like a monster. Splitting Headache would give us even more crit chance. I think Splitting Headache is definitely the worst choice here because this is what? This is 7.5% chance to crit versus 55% chance to crit off of Hunter's Mark. Heartrend, though, I think we take Ooh, gosh. There's a decent chance we see Heartrend again, right, Kiwi? I think we take Hunter's Mark. That'll just up our damage in the overall rooms so much. It's a 55% crit chance. We crit once and we're just set. We don't have a lot of rapid hitting moves, so it is hard to get pressure points to do its thing, but we get one crit, and probably by just tossing out the cast, because the cast has an increased crit chance, and we are set. This is a really nasty room for, these things are just going to explode and hurt me, aren't they? Maybe I can pop them with the... Yeah, okay, Dionysus Call will help here a lot, since I don't want to get popped by these exploding revenants. Like, look at they were just a bunch of time bombs all spawned right next to each other. What am I supposed to do about that? Alright, well, I don't know if we're critting on our attack, but if we are critting for 300 a slice, so our max damage per attack is roughly, I want to say 900 at minimum, and that's not accounting for things like Hydraulic Might, any status privilege, or it might have been status privilege might have been applied to those guys, I don't know for sure. There are so many things that I'm trying not to get hit by here. This room is awful. My goodness, this room is awful. Oh gosh, what a nasty room. Well, we cleared it. Oh, hey there, bud.
Pathetic.
Some HP brings us back up, and there's an Artemis Erebus. Artemis Erebus, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to clear this without taking damage, since I am kind of a lack of dash melee build sort of kind of run. But if we do get it, awesome.
My wretches have come to collect.
If we don't get it, oh great, butterfly balls. I hate when they give butterfly balls in the Erebus gates. That's so rude, because it's so hard to contend with them, especially with melee builds. Also with my brain capacity. I just need to play super safe, which is hard to do when you have a tight deadline. Oh well, it's 11-minute tight deadline. We're fine. All right, we got our first Dionysus Call, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop that there just to possibly burst some enemies down. Trying to keep these guys from respawning, but the butterflies are kind of blocking the... Yep, there it is. Butterfly balls are just so rude in an Erebus gate. It's almost not even worth considering an Erebus gate in Elysium for that reason, frankly. Because I don't think they show up anywhere else. I've never seen them on offer before outside of a Elysium Erebus gate. And it's just... The reason why I still took the Erebus gate is because even if I do lose it, I get Codex progression, because those red onions do give me some progression on the Codex. But it feels so lame for a butterfly ball to show up like that. Alright, well, take our red onion and get out of here. 2 HP regained. And there's, ooh, Patroclus. I think I'm going to go for the Patroclus room. The attack damage would be amazing, but the touch of sticks will make sure that we survive Hades, I think. I don't know, what's better, damage or survivability?
May this aid you against the champion out there.
Why not both? Damage is survivability. There's no guarantee this makes it all the way to Hades, though. Because here's how this works. Touch of Sticks Dark from Patroclus increases how much we heal from Stubborn Defiance by 50%. That's a pretty hefty amount. That said, if we do find the Satyr Chamber, we have Strong Drink, we get healed to full. I think I'm just going to go Cyclops Tricky. That's 60% attack damage on a really strong attack. Just sounds too fun to pass up. And we have enough coin to afford a boon from the shop, so we'll take the end shop here. Aphrodite, you could show up and give us Heart Friends still. All right, let's roll for it.
Should help keep me going.
Let's roll for it again, I guess.
I would like none of these.
No luck. All right, and we got 2 awful offerings in replace of that. Do I roll again? This is a low tier Aphrodite, which means the odds of her showing us a higher tier boon aren't great. So I think, honestly, I just take Life Affirmation. 1 Centaur Heart gives us a whole lot of HP now. Well, it's an extra, like, what, 30%, so it's not that amazing. But I don't think it terribly matters what we took there, honestly. None of them were good options. I didn't want to trade the dash out.
Waste not more words with this one, King. Let's fight.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus down Asterius first, because I think we can just obliterate chariot-wielding Theseus in a second. So, here, let's go for Asterius first. I do need to prioritize dodging Asterius' attacks, but look at that. 2k damage off of our attack. Oops. Well, that's not good. Alright, Asterius is already half dead, which is great. Try and get as much damage as I can. Bail out. Oh gosh. I do need to be careful of Theseus's rampaging around. A couple stacks of Dionysus does us good. Toss the cast out while we can. Get some damage in. Just play super safe. That's all I need to do. Oh, I'm not playing safe. Oh, okay, I bailed out. I'm good. I will try and take at least one hit before the run is over, or this room is over. I guess it doesn't matter. I have strong drink. I'll heal to full anyway. We don't have lasting consequences on, so I heal to full no matter what. I'm just gonna finish this Darius with Dionysus's aid, I think. Whoa. There we go. Alright. Watch me melt Theseus' HP pool. Alright, it's not as melty as I hoped it to be, but we still did some pretty decent damage. What are you doing there, Theseus? I think he something went wrong with his pathing there. It was kind of funny to watch, frankly. We definitely need more dash strikes from Hermes. Oh, well, that's fine.
Never.
That sets us up for a bunch of Dionysus calls for this part of his phase. We're gonna drop I'm gonna hold on Sisyphus, I think. But Dionysus's call will do a whole lot of damage, and as long as I dance around these AoEs, we shouldn't take too much damage, and then Theseus gets popped by the hangover. Excellent. Alright, we've still got 9 minutes on the tight deadline. We've got more than enough time.
There's my shade.
And there's my shade indeed. Alright, let's heal back to full, get our Death Defiance back, and then what do we want? Do we want a certain keepsake here?
I shall have to have a word with our king, Theseus.
So Lucky Youth works with Stubborn Defiance. It will give us an extra Death Defiance, so we can die twice in Hades. That's worth considering here. Alternatively, I could force Aphrodite to show up because I haven't taken her keepsake yet. That gives us a decent chance of seeing Heartrend. Alternatively, I don't know. The Acorn could also give us a lot of survivability. If I buy a Touch of Styx, I think overall we'll get more HP surviving off of Lucky Tooth. But I don't know for sure on that. I think I'm probably just going to take the Acorn for safety. Worst case scenario, we don't get Heartrend, which I won't lament. I will sell Life Affirmation. I don't think it's going to do much for us in Styx. It's only an extra 12 HP if we get the standard, what's it called, Centaur Heart. And that extra money does add up. And then here, so we'll have to keep hunting for the canceling out wheels boon from the Wells of Charon's in Elysium. We didn't get any here. Hopefully we see an attack upgrade, and hopefully we get a 2-chamber stick so I can keep this attack buff that we got from Patroclus into Hades, because that'll speed along his fight substantially. The main thing I'm a little bit worried about is I don't think I can my dash count outrange. I don't think I can outrange Hades' big swings with my dash presently, because my dash range is so low. We'll have to kind of depend on the Achilles Spear kind of as a defensive tool in that regard. All right, we have a single Artemis room that could give us Heartrend, and that's all we've got. Dionysus, we have 2 rare higher tiers, so we try and take Dionysus rooms first. The reason for that is he can potentially get us the... What's the word? He can potentially get us low... What is it? I forget the name of his duo with Artemis, but we want him to give us that first so that it's not in the pool when we're trying to take a boon from Artemis and get Heartrend. Once again, as always, I will complain about these rat enemies just dropping poison when I'm running a melee build, but the spear is at least a mid-range weapon compared to the sword and the gauntlets, so I have decent enough range that I can sit outside their pools enough and kind of avoid the worst of their damage. That said, there's only so much I can do when they just kind of camp their poison, but fun, joke's on them, I have my own form of poison. Alright, what mini-boss are we gonna see today? I guess I have one more. I always do that. I always have, like, I've cleared 2 rooms, but my brain is like, okay, that's the 3rd room. On to the mini-boss, right? Alright, I'm liking these 300 crits. Imagine with Heartrend, those would be easily up to 400. I just have to fight the urge to go charging into my special when it's standing in a pool of poison. Did I miscount? Because I thought we would be at the mini-boss now. Whatever. Maybe we have a secret bonus chamber of Styx. I don't think that's how that works, but never mind. I don't know how I stood in that poison for so long without taking any poison hit. Oh well. Alright, who have we got? Is it Tony? It is not Tony, it is the giant satyr, which is actually going to get melted by us. Or I'm just going to run face first into its poison and take a lot of damage. But this is fine. Now we just absolutely melt them. With Dionysus's Call, our Dionysus Call does so much damage. Unlucky that we did get both those hits, but between the sturdy status blocking reducing damage by 30% and weak reducing by another 40, we are constantly in a state of damage reduction, so we're fairly tanky, and that's really good for this build where we're constantly just not without a dash, without a meaningful dash, I suppose. fighting in melee range. Premium vintage. So I probably, as much as I'd like that premium vintage, because that would give us an extra 30 HP, I think it's worth re-rolling here for his duo with Artemis first. Okay, it is called low tolerance. So yeah, let's re-roll for low tolerance and see if we can get it, because that's basically the only boon aside from premium vintage I want from Dionysus. There we go. Splitting headache. Wait, what? Oh wait, no, that was what I was looking for. What did I think was low tolerance? What? Hold on. Oh, that's his duo. Right, that's his duo with Aphrodite. My bad. Splitting headache. Hangover afflicted foes are more likely to take critical damage by an additional 7.5%. Actually, it's more than that. It's 12% because we have the we get 8 stacks with the Aphrodite duo between him and between her and Dionysus. All right, I'll save up for that Hermes boon if I can. So let's go ahead and hope that it's a 2 chamber sticks and go for this Artemis chamber, because now we could potentially see Heartrend, and I have 1 reroll left. If we don't get it, oh well. It'll feel kind of lame. And then hopefully that Hermes boon, we won't have to reroll it, and we'll get either rush delivery for extra damage, or honestly more important, more valuable to us would probably be, what's it called? Additional dashes. If we get a greater reflex from him, that would be awesome. Wow. Taking a lot of damage here. I should probably pop my Stubborn Defiance in this room before I clear it. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we kill the Satyr, and see, we went from like 13 HP to 64 HP. That'll make the next room a little bit easier to contend with, but that's how you have to use Stubborn Defiance in higher heat runs especially, and that's why, again, you take it whenever you're going for lasting consequences in a higher heat run, because it guarantees that you will heal. It's actually your single best healing tool available to you.
Purge boons for coin.
We're not going to see any Aphrodite on this floor, right? We had Dionysus and Hermes on the table, so I will sell Empty Inside for the coin it gives, because we can't get Aphrodite's legendary anyway, so what does it matter? That's it. I'm not re-rolling anything until at least this room. I have a feeling we're not going to see a 2 chamber sticks. This build feels fairly strong, but it's also kind of risky. Oh, we got it. Nice.
There it is already.
And there's Heartrend. All right. Well, once again, I predicted it at the very start. We got the boon we set our heart on at the very last room of the run. Classic Hades. Now, the question is, we do not have enough coin to afford that Hermes boon. We are 3 coins short of being able to afford the Dionysus boon. Is it worth it? Okay, so both of our Cyclops jerky unfortunately did wear out. It really did feel like we had an extra chamber in that one Styx path. So I'm not doing extra rooms won't cost me anything in terms of what I lose necessarily, but I need another 53 coin if I want to afford that Hermes boon. 3 coin if I want Dionysus. Do I risk it? I'll go for the HP, because that'll probably, as long as I heal more than, as long as I take less than 50 HP, I will make up for what I take in damage that way, and it'll be a net neutral at worst case scenario. Hopefully it'll be a net positive in terms of our overall survivability. We will see though. But I think we will net neutral at worst. Alright, we're already at the coin threshold that we need to afford the Hermes boon. Maybe if we're lucky we get enough coin to afford a palm on top of that. I'm not setting expectations for that, but it would be nice. Okay, hold on. There we go. That's the one thing I hate about the layouts of these Styx chambers, is that sometimes you get hooked on corners, and it's really hard for some, especially with, oh my goodness, well, we're not netting neutral. I dashed into a single trap, and that did 100 damage because we have, hide and security is just so punishing. Like, it's easy enough to avoid traps if you have the brain to do so. Have you met me? Oh, good, and it's Tony. Well, this was a net loss if there ever was one, unfortunate. I still think we'll be okay. I just have to play smart against Hades, is really all it boils down to. I wonder if you could farm coin off of Tony's summons. I'm not going to risk it, mind you. I do need to drop a Sisyphus here for the coin, and may as well take it for the HP as well. You know, honestly, if I had just used Sisyphus, I wouldn't have even needed to take this chamber. I would have at least gotten the... I would have at least been able to afford his, the Dionysus boon, and I probably would have been satisfied with that. Oh my goodness, Tony, calm down. Calm down, Tony. Alright, well, this is not, strictly speaking, ideal. Tony is a right terror in his own right. I probably take the Stubborn Defiance, honestly, once he gets low enough, and then I finish him off with the Dionysus Call. I mean, again, I maintain the fact that we have a lot of damage potential. We just also are a glass cannon. Would you stop running away and fight me like a brave and true rat? Alright, I think we have enough damage on Tony that I can probably take the hit here to pop the Death Defiance and then die. Just gonna try and damage his friends for what I can. Go ahead and hit me, Tony. Go on. There we go. Alright, we pop Dionysus's call and then we just run away like a coward. There we go. Easy peasy. Well, nothing about that was easy, but the finish was.
That vicious little.
Alright, well, at least
5-second rule.
we definitely netted downwards, but I guess my only bright side is that if we're healing 30% of the damage that we took when we of our max HP when we use a Stubborn Defiance, we'll at least heal a little bit more. Ooh, Kiwi, we got greatest reflex at level 3 or +3 dashes. That's gonna be huge for our DPS.
Time to pick up the pace.
It's gonna make me play like a monkey. Wow, we have exactly enough coin to afford this palm and the HP, which is kind of nice. Now the question is, do I reroll for anything? Or do I put it on the call? Because the call is going to do a lot of damage this run. I think I reroll.
I'd like to see more options.
Alright, an extra 10% on our dash strike sounds good to me. And then an extra 25 HP. Okay, so we netted a total of minus, I want to say minus 8 HP. Because we were at, oh no, -4. We were at,
The Guardian of Hell itself decides the time has come for a short break and snack.
I'm sort of regretting having sold Life Affirmation now, because turns out I got 2 different Centaur Hearts.
Thank you, boy.
That would have been a lot of extra HP, but the 35 coin that we got from it made us afford things, I suppose. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to play careful. We do have like a 70% damage reduction overall, and I'm still just getting popped by things. The thing I really need to play safe around is the pots. The pots
To keep you from your parchment work.
do 150 damage a hit. They can 2-shot
I
us.
shall give you no quarter, boy. Although I doubt that you expected otherwise.
Yeah, my allowance is at least 1 nickel. I make that joke literally every time he says that line, and it will never get funny. It will never be funny, and I know. Alright, I'm gonna bail out because I do not want to get hit while I have boiling blood. Again, I'm going to try and play at least a little bit respectful of Hades' damage potential, but look at that. Look at that damage we do. Oh, and also I guess I don't have to be as safe as I thought, because we have... Joke's on him, we have 3 dashes, and we have Acorn. Oh, I forgot we have Acorn. Okay, well, we've already used 2 charges of Acorn, and he gives me a shielder, so I'm going to pop a Dionysus Call on this, because I just don't want to deal with this annoying sort of enemy at all. Pop the Revenant. Is that all he summoned? Okay, that's all he summoned, so... Let's see, Dad, where are you? Okay. Let's take out your little cast stone, bail out, bail in. The nice thing is that we do, because of Hunter's Mark, pretty reliably get crit chance against him if we attack his little... Whoa, hello. If we attack his Bloodstones, we can fairly reliably get some nice crit chance against him from Hunter's Mark. Another shielder? No, a chariot. Of course a chariot. It had to be a chariot. Once again, I'm going to use a call here just to take out his friends as quick as possible, because, again, Dionysus' call, it's doing 184 damage a tick. That's every 0.5 seconds, so that's doing 360 damage every second. It's quite nice for us. Just gonna try and kite him out while I'm waiting for this boiling blood to wear off. I think we've got him. Alright, you know, we've got him. We're already on to phase 2. I'm just gonna dash strike him. He tried to darkness away. I said no. Alright, let's just drop my spear right on top of him so I can retrieve it and start DPSing him immediately. Or miss. Or I could just miss. I'm gonna bail out here and then dash right in, and now watch us DPS. Watch our DPS here, Kiwi. I don't even care that I'm getting hit. We're just gonna melt Hades. Come on, Dad. Stop being a coward and put down that shield. Here, have a boldy.
A collapse from the temple, nothing more.
A collapse from the Temple of Olympus. Yes, absolutely. I'm forgetting to use my enhanced special. He didn't even have a chance to summon pots. We melted him. Okay.
You have your mother's perseverance. How is it that you got this strong?
I used your keepsake. I started the run with her keepsake.
See you at home.
All right, another spear clear. We've only got 2 more bounties to claim on it, I believe. All right, so that was... I wouldn't say it was the most impressive build I've had. I will say that, but it was a nice, different build from usual. So let's go ahead and honor the pieces that made it what it was. So Aspect of Achilles with Heart Rend, Splitting Headache, and Low Tolerance, plus an Epic Tier Hunter's Mark. You know what? I think let's drop out Low Tolerance, because I think what we really need to honor is this weird hammer combination that we had. So let's get rid of Low Tolerance and show off our Flurry Jab and Serrated Point. I will probably never run Serrated Point again. It felt good, but it's too risky, and I anticipate I'm going to be running higher heats with the spear soon enough, so it's too much risk for too little reward. Yeah, it carried through Tartarus early,
My weapon shuddered at the touch.
but it was doing exactly 150 damage. Granted, we didn't have an attack boon at the time, but...
After defeating his lord father yet again, Prince Zagreus begins to shiver and catch cold. And, as is well known, there sadly is no cure for such a thing.
I lost my train of thought in classic form while I was listening to the dialogue, but basically, what was I going to say? I don't know, I've lost it. Oh, right, Serrated Point, it's just, it's too much risk for too little reward. And the base damage that it has, if it's just with what we got, enhanced by the Achilles Spear, it's 150 damage per dash strike. Mind you, your dash is supposed to be your defensive tool, so you need to have it up so you can dash away. But then on top of that, that 150 extra damage gets completely negated by Calisthenics program. It won't one-shot things anymore.
Cerberus looks mournfully toward the prince.
Not that you usually choose to take Calisthenics program on higher heats. It's one of the ones you kind of choose last because it just makes things so much tankier with their armor. Not to mention their base HP, especially for Hades. Oh my goodness. Calisthenics program maxed with Extreme Measures 4 is just awful.
Cerberus there was anticipating your return.
But it's certainly doable.
Let's talk when I'm not singing, Zagreus.
Orpheus, you are always singing, though.
Megara, the featured servant of the house.
I don't know. I feel like it's got a niche, and for maybe like a speedrun potential, it could be decent.
Give me the current special.
But overall, I think it's not worth it.
The shade here was just regaling me about a famous war.
I'm afraid most of my tales revolve around bloodshed for one reason or another.
Somehow I don't think Meg minds that. All right, we're gonna keep stocking up on fish to hand over to the shelf, and then we'll just do one giant chef dump.
Heard everything's been good lately between you and Miss Meg.
That it has been, Dusa.
Bye, Dusa.
Bye-bye. All right, let's go say goodnight to Skelly and call it an episode. We've got some adulting to do today.
I shall be watching over you in our house alike.
Or we could just take the day off again. That would be nice. We took 2 days off recently, and it's felt so nice, but the house has keeping to do, and I think both of us have kind of a building anxiety of the dishes piling up, so I don't think we're putting it off any longer, but maybe I can talk Kiwi into taking the day off. Ooh, another bow run. Okay, I have a plan for this bow. Well, we'll see, but if I'm still in the mood for it come the next time I record, let's see if we can go a speedrun build with the Hera bow. I like to remap my cast to my left button for that reason. And, well, let's say goodnight to Skelly. I can set up my run off camera.
You want to fight me, boyo? Well, hop to it, stat.
Hop into it. All right, Kiwi. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you.
And I'm dead.
And I'm dead. No, I love you, and I will see you in the next one for some more Hades fun.
Go again?